Alright, so Parker, one day, on his many a rant, just told me, you know what, Kai, how would you change the classes? And I said, like, oh, we're doing all the classes, and then we went on like an hour or two rant, just talking about every class and what we would change about them. And that eventually evolved into us just going, okay, let's do a stream of this. So, yeah, now we're gonna do a stream of this. And basically, the rules, as is, because there's only a mild rules, is just we're not doing the subclasses. We're just doing the base classes.
There might be a few we dip into here and there.
Maybe. But as it is, this is a base class workshop. And also, I'm pretty sure I said this, I don't know if you agreed, that the fighter and the warlock were the two classes that we thought
We really liked.
they're fine. There's no need to change them. The fighter is just, it's a super simple and easy class for people to start D&D, and the warlock's just fun. It's just
It's
good.
a great time.
So yeah, we're not going to go through this alphabetically. I'm probably going to change the current class icon I have on each stream UI a little
I'm
bit.
not starting with the Artificer. I'll die inside.
We're
if
not
I
starting with
start.
the Artificer.
Can I also just preface this? I'm assuming YouTube video has started now.
Yes, I'm going to probably put that explanation in.
I'm gonna say, we do not think that we are better game designers.
Oh,
than
yeah.
Wizards of the Coast. We understand that it is a very difficult task to design in one of these games. This is just us, after a good few years of experience with a lot of these classes, under different circumstances, just saying that we have some things that we would like to change for our games. We are not responsible if you adopt these or not, and we're not saying these are outright better. This is what we would do.
This is for fun. We are not trying to fucking bring down Wizards of the Coast with a fire. We're just saying, this is how we like to play. We're also not power gamers, so we don't...
No, not at all.
We do not tend to focus entirely on balance. We do things that look like they would be fun. And that is the main rule that we're going to stick with a lot of these.
There's a lot of things that just we found aren't fun.
We're not going to absolutely break every class, but we're not here to quote-unquote balance them. We're here to make them cooler, I guess is the best way for us to phrase it.
Well, this is sort of our forward. This is essentially the forward in this, whatever this book would be. And can I just say that we've had this discussion, and Abby was the first one to say it, and I agreed with balance in this game should not be that important because this is not a game where you are competing against other people of these classes.
Yeah.
This is if something is particularly powerful but is very cool, that shouldn't bother you as long as it, like, obviously there's extreme cases of if it invalidates an entire table or someone's character, blah blah blah.
If you have
whatever.
a magic spell that just kills everyone, it's like, all right, well.
Yeah, well, that's not fun. But if there are features and there are spells or there are abilities that are cool and fun, but they are very powerful, that shouldn't really matter. Because again, if Kai is playing a wizard and I'm playing a monk, if there's something he can do so well that it solves an encounter for us, that shouldn't bother me. I don't understand why we need to balance it so that every class is either watered down within their role or just doesn't do anything fun. I've never understood that because this is not a competitive game. There's no reason for balance against the other classes. If anything, you should balance things against the monsters you're fighting. So I just wanted to insert that in the forward too, because I don't understand the mentality of balancing classes against each other.
All right. I think that's all we need to say. So, what do you think we should start with? Because if out of all of these, I'd actually vote that we might start with either the Cleric or the Sorcerer, because I think we both know what we would do with those.
I was about to say, what do you know? Because there's a lot of them where I'm like, there's something I want to change, but I don't know what to change it to. What do you know you want to change? What do you know what do you have an idea for?
I said before for the Cleric that, while also reworking the Channel Divinity, that Cleric spell casting should be a small list that is just their domain spells. Your spell casting list completely dependent on what god you pray to.
Mm-hmm.
And clerics don't have a lot of features, so it wouldn't take that long other than choosing spells. I'm gonna be honest. There's
Yeah.
like 3
I'll
features in the cleric class.
That's true. I would also put out there that we have a pretty good idea of like the sorcerer. I think is the one we've talked ad nauseum about.
Yeah.
So we have a pretty good idea of what we're gonna do with that one too.
It's the same case of there's like 3 features in the sorcerer class, so it wouldn't take that long. It's just we're trying to fix one big thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's cases like the monk where there's like, oh my god, there's about 20 features here, and that's gonna take a while.
And none of them are great.
So let's start with a simple one. I say sorcerer is the fun one. Let's start with sorcerer.
Let's start with the sorcerer.
Change the UI. I put a little box on the top left to show what we worked with, and the darkened out icons are the ones that were already passed.
We're not changing them currently.
Or they're already complete. I'll darken up the different ones as we keep going. Alright.
So what are the problems we had with the sorcerer?
I have done my best to copy and paste them, but I'm gonna be honest, considering there's only one feature of the sorcerer, it's the meta magic isn't that great. Like, there's 3 that are good, and you can learn more than 3 meta magics.
There's 3 that are good, and we have a very heinous problem of a sorcerer feeling like a worse wizard.
Yeah. The main pick we keep going with is a sorcerer should be better at casting fewer spells.
Mm-hmm.
And they sure do cast fewer spells, but
well, that's how the class is presented. The class is presented as if you are a sorcerer built around fireball, you fireball better than anyone else. I'm like, I mean, I guess, but not by much. Like, it doesn't feel. It still feels like I should just be playing a wizard. Honestly.
The main thing that keeps me going to the sorcerer is just the subclasses are really good in the sorcerer, but the main classes in the sorcerer, the main class in it is not good.
The main features in it is terrible. Hey, here's a question, Kai.
Yes.
Just because we're spitballing. What if? Here's a thought. What if every subclass had a unique meta magic that you could use?
I'd say if there was a list for the general class and then one for each subclass, that would probably be.
That's what I mean.
Then
like I think we should touch up the actual because truly the main problem with sorcerer is that their meta magic is worth very little in the long run.
So let's start. I'd say let's start just by what would you do to the current meta magic that's there, or should we just take them out?
No. Here's the thing. I think that they have a good list of concepts. I think we should just change them.
Yeah. Then currently, I feel like we all know that Quicken Spell, Subtle Spell, and Twin Spell are all fine. It's every single one.
Careful spells also moderately okay, but like it's not great. So what would I do?
The only thing I do is I think Careful Spell should just be a bit stronger because as it stands, like it's okay.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about with this. We're already here. The Careful Spell meta magic is a prime example of why am I not just playing a wizard. The Evocation Wizard at level 2 gets a feature called Sculpted Spells that lets their AoEs just completely not affect their friends.
Yes.
That's passive. It costs them nothing.
That's what I was thinking might just... I'm trying to think of a way to do that. Should we just make it completely that?
I don't know why we wouldn't, because this costs you a resource.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it does less than that does. So currently, I'd say just really all you need to do is change it to...
Just add an asterisk at the end that just goes... Or, basically, they say succeed on the save and take no secondary effects.
Well, just say they're unaffected by the spell.
Are unaffected... I spelled that wrong. By the spell. Why is R
I would take out the saving throw part, because that implies they take part in the saving throw, and that can have some awkward
Well, it says automatically succeeds on it.
I know, just take that part out. Chosen creatures are unaffected by the spell. That's all I should say. A chosen creature is unaffected by the spell.
Alright. Well, that's one down. Distant spell.
Distant spell is fucking pointless.
It doubles the range. I feel like... Because there is a use for having something go really far. It's just doubling the range isn't that far. Because all the spells that have a range are usually maxed out at a mile is the most. Then it goes to everywhere. It goes 1 mile, everywhere.
That's also assuming the sorcerer has those spells, which it usually doesn't.
They don't. So how... I feel like the thing that you just gotta fix with this is just make it way more.
I would say... Well, here's what I would do. I would make... Like, there's some cases where what I'm going to do might nerf some things, but it's going to be overall, I think, a more useful thing. I think that... Or, well, actually... Here's the problem, okay? Here's my big problem.
Yeah.
There's a... In what case... How many cases do you come across where it's like, I need this to be more than 120 feet, or I need this to be more than 60 feet?
That's a problem, because Fulek said it in there when you say, so I can be a sniper, but any spell that you can snipe with doesn't need distant spell. And any spell that you want to snipe with can't snipe with distant spell. It's in that middle ground of, it's either pointless because it's too far, or pointless because
the rest of my team needs... Yeah. This is the thing of, you have to think about the rest of your team. And sure, you could probably firebolt someone from 500 feet away, given the right circumstances, but how's the rest of your team going to fight?
This is kind of a bigger change. Because it says it at the start. If you cast something with a feet of 5 or longer, it goes further. When you cast it out of touch, it makes it 30 feet.
Yeah.
So what if we just made it... basically like a big radius for everything. It's a static number. It doesn't double it.
Well, I was going to say, kind of on that, what I thought would be a really cool use case for this is if it made the AoE of a spell even larger. What if we did that? What if we made it affect AoE spells? Yeah.
So I would still be fine with the touch one, but then we make the first part where it's 5 feet or greater, just you double the width.
Because surely, like, if you use this on Fireball, which is just the prime example of an AoE spell, it would just double the distance that you can make Fireball away from you. It wouldn't double the radius of the Fireball. But I think you should be able to do that, because I think that'd be cool.
So here I just say, when you cast a spell that has a radius, or area of effect, you double the range? Not range, space. I suppose.
Space affected, yeah.
By the spell.
And I mean, honestly, you can leave the thing that it's like it doubles the range of a spell if you wanted to do that, because there's no reason to take that away, I suppose. There's still some use case where you'll get that.
Sure, let me do the rest and I'll copy, cut, X, Z, 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 Z. There we go. There we go. That's good. Because we said it during before that it'd be really cool if you could just make a super big fireball, even if it does the same damage.
Yeah, it's just bigger AoE. Hey, you know what else we're gonna take out just as a base level?
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna...
You can put more than one meta magic on a spell. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to.
It's just you can see
what
I'm doing.
Yeah, there's honestly no reason that you should be able to. You should only be limited to one.
Alright. So we got this empowered. When you roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll the number of damage dice up to your charisma modifier, and you must use the new rules. I think the simple fix to this is that you should choose whether you use the new rule.
I think it needs to go more than that, because this is currently dog shit. Even with that, it's still dog shit. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, I remember these need to be.
the reason these need to be good is because these are your primary. These are the reason you are a sorcerer, and these use your sorcery points, your primary resource as a sorcerer. Getting to re-roll a damage die on a spell, even if you get to choose whether you use the new or the old one, is dog shit.
I remember, I think what we said was basically you re-roll it and you only take the higher number.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's it. That's the same thing as choosing, because why would you ever choose the lower number?
No, I don't. Not like the total. I mean, let's say you roll 5d6 and I don't know, you got that spread. You roll 5 more.
Yeah.
You just take the highest numbers between the 2 rolls that you did.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that more.
We said it before. It's hard to phrase, but basically you only use the high number per dice.
You roll the damage for that spell a second time and use the highest result.
Yeah, between all of the numbers. You don't like double the dice you roll.
No, I understand what you're saying. If I rolled Fireball, I would roll my Fireball damage. I'm like, I got like 17 or something, and then I use them, and it was empowered. I could roll it again and be like, oh, I got 26 on this one, so I'll use the 26.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just you roll the damage for the spell twice and use the greater result.
All right. How do I? Okay. So yeah, I'll just say that.
Yeah, literally what I said.
Real elimination of cheating. You then take the greater result between the 2 rolls. I think that's the right phrasing.
Yeah.
That one, I feel like it's very. Once you realize how to read it, because I don't know, English is hard. It's good.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we need to touch extended spell.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't think there's any spell. Like, maybe we take off the limit of 24 hours, but. Because there's just very few spells that. Live it this way. Huh?
Mm-hmm. There's very few spells that sorcerers get that would go any longer than that.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like. Most spells have a limit of 24 hours, and if they don't, it's usually infinite except for, what, Hallow? Which is like 30 days? And sorcerers can't learn Hallow.
I think only the Divine Souls are. No, I don't know if Divine Soul is Divine Soul the one that gets access to the Cleric spell list.
Yes, but I'm gonna be honest. Hallow is a very niche spell.
Yeah, it's you won't use it. Is basically the answer. You won't use it. There's also
no way that that's a broken aspect to have a limit of 24 hours. I don't get that. I don't get the limit basically.
Yeah.
I think the only time I've seen extended spell being like, I might consider this, is you can mage armor, extended spell, long rest, and you'll still have the mage armor when you wake up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But that's also, the limit doesn't affect that, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just take off the limit, sure.
Flashbacks at time.
Our overall goal here is to make meta magic better. Flashback to that time I saw a player use Empower spell to deal less damage on purpose as a warning shot. That's pretty funny.
What if, imagine we, oh man, that would be really weird. Okay.
That's funny though.
Heightened spell is last one. Okay. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effect, you can spend 3 points to give one target disadvantage.
On its first saving. Okay, there's 2 ways we can go with this, because I'm going to be real. Giving disadvantage against the saving throw is very strong.
It is. My issue is how expensive it is for low-level spells and how inexpensive it is for high-level spells. I think it should just scale based on spell level.
Yeah, what if it's half the spell level?
I think that's right. Just because, like, you never use it with Burning Hands. You'll never. Mm-hmm. That's at first level. That's more than your sorcery points.
That is a waste.
And you'll use it at high level, and that's when it's good. But then you never. You're now holding on to this meta magic for several levels, never using it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would do. I would just change the cost to half the spell's level rounded up. And I only say rounded up because we don't want to have 3rd level spells only cost 1 sorcery point to give disadvantage.
Equal to half the spell level rounded down? Or
rounded up.
Sorry. So it's not free for early spells.
Yeah.
To give one target disadvantage. Yeah, disadvantage is really good. It's just this mana magic is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird.
That's the problem. This one toes the line of it could get very strong very quickly. In terms of there's literally a reason that there's a section of spells called save or suck. If you cast polymorph, on the one big monster you're fighting and give it disadvantage and it fails, the fight's over.
Yep.
Like physically, the fight's over.
All right. Quicken spell's good. Twin Soul spell's good. Twin spell's good. These are all the ones that are just good.
Mm-hmm.
To be eligible, spell must. Yeah, I understand this part. It makes sense.
So are we happy with this?
There's
happy with our
2
changes?
more. In the optional.
Optional. I forgot. Right.
So, Seeking spell. Make an attack and miss. You spend 2 points. Reroll. You use new roll. You can use this even if you've already used a different meta magic option. I think.
That second part literally doesn't apply to our meta magic.
Yeah, I think the only issue with this is, again, you don't use this. Like, every spell that's like you roll a d20 and it's an attack roll. It's really risky. It's why I personally go with the saves often, and why Fireball is so good is just because one of them's gonna get hit by it. But when you're rolling an attack roll, it's always against one person. And then you're like, it feels like a gamble because that just goes against their AC. And a lot of things that you want to hit with these spells have really good AC. So it's a weird thing. I think it's another one that should just be cheaper, or at least rework how the point cost goes.
I would say just like this one. You're right. Honestly, I don't even see the concept for this even being very necessary, but just punch up its usefulness of reduce it to 1 sorcery point and let you choose whether you use the new roll or not. Yeah. Like that's just give it that little change, honestly.
It should be, if you ever take it, it's just so that you play it safer, but it's not gonna change too much, so it's fine being a cheaper meta magic in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean this line doesn't really matter because if you miss again, well, you're not gonna keep the original one where you miss.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
that's a good point. Hey, all right, you hit. All right, I'm gonna use Seeking spell. Wait,
why? I guess the only time is like they really don't want you to be fishing for 20s, but I think if you're using meta magic, you should be able to fish for 20s.
You should be allowed to fish for 20s, yeah. And
I guess. Okay, actually.
I mean, well, here's the thing, Kai. Getting crits on. I mean, okay, 99%, and I'm pretty sure 99% of the spells that you're going to be rolling attack rolls on while you're playing a sorcerer is a cantrip.
Yeah.
It's like firebolt and shit.
I think
there's a few.
There's one situation, is if you have advantage on the attack roll, then it's really actually super worth it to fish for 20s, but that's rare, so.
Yeah, how often do you get advantage on
ranged attacks?
Ranged attack rolls.
Yeah, I think this is fine for Seeking spell.
Mm-hmm.
Transmuted spell, the other one. You can change your element type. Which, it's 1 sorcery point. It's just element types
don't do anything.
They don't matter.
They don't matter. Hello, Daniel.
Should this just be free?
No, I don't think it should just be free. But this is where I say, here's my idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pitch it, and feel free to say no because this could involve some stuff doing. We delete this altogether, and maybe it is the one we give individual ones, like it is the special one, or we give them 2, one of them being transmuted spell, but each subclass gets their own specific free to use transmuted spell that lets you change to a type relevant to that subclass.
Like the Witherbloom.
Yes.
College.
And the undead warlock.
The pain. We'll do it.
Kai, don't talk about Strixhaven, Kai. The pain's too fresh.
It's so fresh it hasn't even come out yet. All right.
But I think that's a good idea.
Let's just keep. If you can make a note, just that we're deleting that and we're gonna give it to the subclass, or we can just do it now, I guess. But there's still one more thing. Replacement. Meh. 5th level feature. Here we go. It's the last one. Yes. Trying to format this properly.
Wait,
You
what?
can tap into your Wellspring, it's an optional one again, of magic to conjure success from failure. When you make an ability check that fails, you can spend 1 sorcery point to roll d20, and you must use the new roll, potentially turning the failure into a success.
Yeah, that's fine. It's
Yeah.
spending sorcery points to take the place of a skill monkey in your party.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Alright, that's it. That was
Um,
all of those features. I'm not sure, I haven't put anything down for the subclasses because I didn't expect to do anything with subclasses.
Well, put
Sure.
transmuted spell back and just in parentheses put something to remind us that we need to work on subclasses there, because we might do a second stream or something where we come back to individual subclasses.
Let me do that. Transmuted spell. Now it's on the little task there. I'll put an asterisk. We'll remember it. Well, I can just type in work on subclasses here. Alright. That's it for the sorcerer?
Is there any other feat?
They don't get that many. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How could I forget? They're amazing. 20th level feature. Where is it? Where is it? Where did I put it? Here.
Sorceress Restoration.
Should be at the bottom right here. Yeah, here it is. Sorceress Restoration. Give it up for level 20 feature. You take a nap and you get 4 sorcery points. That's it.
Is this the worst level 20 feature in the game?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Because even the monk has something similar, but the monk just gets it when you start combat without any key points.
I'm going to be honest. We've said a lot. I think the 20th level feature is that you can just use sorcery points. You don't have a limit. While druids get infinite health with wild shapes, why can't sorcerers with their limited spell list get infinite spells? Or infinite, sorcery points? You can't use sorcery points to restore spells above 6 level or higher, so you're not getting infinite wishes, it's just the 5th level and under features.
Yeah.
I think
I
there
agree.
should be no limit.
I don't think there's a reasonable Okay, here's another thing that we probably should have put in the forward. When we get to level 20 features, you're going to see us just go crazy, because there is no really realistic reason you should not have something broken at level 20.
Clerics get God on speed dial, druids get infinite health.
Yeah. Barbarians get
Sorcerers-
infinite rage.
Sorcerers
and tons of stats.
can take a nap and get some points back.
Sorcerers can take a nap.
That's so lame that they just... Some classes, they're like, here's the best feature ever. Oh, you guys get this.
Fighters can attack 4 fucking times as just an attack action.
And then action surge and get 4 more.
And then
they
do
can-
bonus action if they have other features.
They can attack so many times, and sorcerers can take a nice nap.
Yeah, I agree. Just give unlimited sorcery points at level 20. I don't see a reason not. Okay, how about this, chat? Anyone watching the chat, can you think of any realistic reason to not give a level 20 sorcerer unlimited spell sorcery points?
I think there's not gonna be much. Gonna be honest. No, you can't. Exactly. I actually put this on the thing.
There is none. Yeah, I legitimately think that it's totally fine for a level 20 sorcerer to be able to manipulate their spells however they want.
It would be super cool. You're at 20th level, like the apex of your spellcasting career, and you can make your fireballs massive, make them like maximize the damage as best you can.
Yeah.
Cast spells with your armpit sounds.
It's gonna be really funny that because we're just gonna do this. We're gonna say, all right, every time we get to a level 20 ability we don't like, we're gonna try and make it to the level of like the druid and the cleric. Because those two are level 20 abilities done correctly.
Yeah. Unlimited power.
Just as a thing, I know we don't have a lot of people watching today, but just say I if you have played a character to level 20. I'm very curious if anyone here has.
I'd say you have a cap on how many spell slots you can get. Here's the thing. Remember that sorcerers cannot recover spells above 5th level. And I guess, yeah, there is that unintended feature with the coffee lock where you get more
You get
spells.
realistically unlimited spell slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, here's my thought on that. Right? Here's my thought on that. At 20th level, we're gonna keep going back to the Druid and the Cleric because I think those are once done right. Druids do have effectively unlimited health at 20th level. If you're a Moon Druid, you're unkillable at 20th level. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You literally cannot die.
Yeah. There's also the thing to remember. While you have unlimited spell slots, you still can only cast one spell a turn.
You only cast one spell a turn, and I'm gonna say this is the part where it's on. This part is if like having unlimited up to 5th level spells is really good, but but the enemies you're fighting at 20th level should be a lot.
That's the Divine Soul's infinite healing. You know, with like casting healing word and cure wounds. I mean, yeah, it's good, but 20th level creature can outdamage that healing so well, and you're using your spell slot to do that. Any challenge rating 20 or higher creature you're fighting won't care that you 5th level cure wounds the guy.
I'm trying to think of how bad this would get. What about this guy? What about this? What if we just change the wording? What if we just changed it instead of you have infinite sorcery points? Meta magic no longer costs sorcery points.
Okay, I can go with that.
We'll compromise there. Because there are a few cases where I'm like, this could be a little insane. We'll just say meta magic no longer costs sorcery points. That way, any other rule that applies to sorcery points is still there.
Alright. Let me change that back to 20. That's that.
How does that feel, Bardo? How does that one feel?
Alright.
Is there anything else we wanted to touch up on the Sorcerer?
They only had 2 features, Parker.
All right, we're done.
They only had 2.
I mean, but we're satisfied with Font of Magic.
Yeah.
I think that's relatively okay.
Yeah.
The
We'll come
exchange
at some
is
point,
good.
maybe when we decide to look at subclasses, we'll do the thing where we can add that free changing to it. But for now, it's fine. For now, we're good.
All right, who is next?
Cleric was the other one I said, but did you have one?
I don't, but also the Cleric is mostly your show because I'd never think about the Cleric that much because it's already very strong.
Well, that's why I'm trying to say that there's other things we can do. Okay, I'll just start by, we'll go to the Cleric. Let me change the UI. Basically, the thing that I said to do to the Cleric is we've said before that the Cleric feels just like a better caster than the Wizard.
Yeah. Make sure you black out the Sorcerer. By the way.
Yeah, I gotta do that for a second. Filters, color correction. Boop. There we go. All right, but yeah, the Cleric felt like a better caster than the Sorcerer just because the Cleric had so many more spells. And
Well, I
honestly,
mean, we both think prepared spellcasting is dumb as a system, right?
So the solution I thought is that you would actually keep prepared spellcasting. You would just have spells that are dependent on your domain. You would have like, it depends on the spell level. Let's say there's like 8 or 7 spells at first level, and you do choose from those. It's just you have a smaller list, so it's not an absolute fucking headache to look at your spellcasting list as a cleric. And you also don't look at 2 clerics, like a life domain cleric and a ward cleric, and you can see the war cleric resurrecting their friend and the life domain cleric using animate that. 2 things that, why are their gods giving them these powers when these powers are like heresy to them?
This brings up an overall kind of design philosophy of the cleric's existence that doesn't make a lot of sense. The cleric's existence is kind of just a catch-all for anyone who was given power by a god. Like, that's kind of what the cleric falls into. Like, it's such a broad term of, if it's not even a god, it could just be a powerful being gave you powers, you could be a cleric. You could also be a warlock, but you could be a cleric. So, in that sense, that's such a wide spectrum of potential people that it doesn't make sense that they all have the same spell list. You're right.
Yeah, that's
Like
my thinking.
if I made a cleric of Vecna, the lich, like the lich himself, that should be different than your cleric of Ioun. That should be
Yeah.
so much different. But they don't. See, this is the other thing. In 5e, the full caster classes are defined mostly by their spell list
And
because they don't get a lot of features.
And their spell list is almost always determined by the class and not their subclass. There's like, you get a small handful in a cleric where you get 2 free ones for your class, and those are your things. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm using my big boy spells over here that every cleric has.
I was about to say, let's be real. Half of the domain spell lists are garbage. They are not good.
So that's what I was thinking. Is just, I mean, they also have I don't like their channel divinity, and that's the other thing I would work on. But the spell casting is the main issue.
Oh, God, yeah. The channel divinities need addressing though, because it's literally the thing we said of either it's completely useless or it's the Twilight Cleric.
Yep.
There's like 1 or 2 other ones I would consider useful, but there's a lot of... Okay, the fucking... Like, because I personally like the concept of a nature cleric. The nature cleric's channel divinity is awful. You can charm a plant or an animal within 30 feet of you, and they have to make a wisdom saving throw for up to 1 minute. And that's just charmed. It's just the charm status. That's their whole channel divinity.
We might actually have to do the cleric when we get to doing the subclasses then, 'cause there's not much in here for the regular.
Well, all right. Well, let's look at the regular thing.
There's 2 things.
Yeah, I know. So let's go over that since we can do it rather quickly.
There's the base channel divinity, turn undead, which becomes destroy undead. And then there's do you having God on speed dial, which I'm fine with divine intervention.
I like divine intervention because up to level 20, it's a fun gamble.
It's fun. It's a unique. Fun gamble. Are you winning, son?
Are you winning, son?
Cleric's already giving me a headache. So
the cleric's already. I was shocked that you wanted to go on cleric early.
Well, this is actually why, because there's nothing here to change.
Okay.
There's like 2 features.
All right.
It's a very easy one to knock out. What would we do to turn undead to destroy undead?
I think turn undead is fine. I think when it gets to destroy undead is where it needs changing.
All right. What would we do to destroy undead? Here's our nice handy dandy table.
Jeez. I mean, honestly, I would just... Here's what I would do, right?
Alright.
I would make Destroy Undead a saving throw. But if their challenge rating is higher than your cleric level, they are immune to it. That's what I would do.
Okay.
I would make it a Constitution saving throw.
I think the downside... Well, yeah. You're never going to be fighting a big undead that's like... that's a lower level than you in challenge rating, I guess.
Exactly. If this makes it so that you can kill the undead minions, like you can do that, but you're not going to kill the lich.
So we're just changing.
And also,
this to equal?
it still has. I would make it a Constitution saving throw, and basically I just get rid of the fucking chart. The chart is stupid.
All right.
The chart is ridiculous. I would just change the wording of destroy undead to they need to make a Constitution saving throw, and they are immune to destroy undead if their challenge rating is higher than your cleric level.
Where is turn undead? What is it originally?
I mean, put it in destroy undead.
I mean, what I'm just looking at what the turn undead saving throw is too.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, so we're just changing it. Okay.
Well, don't leave the turn undead one. I would make the destroy undead Constitution.
All right. Fails.
Turn undead's basically a fear effect. Destroy undead is I'm disintegrating you.
When an undead fails a saving throw against
fails a Constitution saving throw.
A Constitution saving throw against your I guess it just upgrades to this. Destroy. Undead. The creature is instantly destroyed if its challenge rating is equal to your cleric level. Or lower.
Yeah, since we're changing this feature's wording, you need to specify that this costs a use of your channel divinity.
Ah.
Because we're essentially doing is splitting apart destroy undead and turn undead.
Your cleric level or lower.
Or higher.
Or higher.
Oh, wait. No, I see what you were. I see the way you're doing it. Never mind.
Yeah, and then I say... if the undead is of a challenge rating higher than your cleric level, it is immune to this feature. Here, let me start it here. Starting at 5th level, you can use your channel divinity to make undead. Man, I gotta rephrase this completely.
Yeah.
Make undead roll a Constitution saving throw. Against your destroyed undead, the creature is instantly destroyed if its challenge rating is equal to your spell level or lower. If they fail.
Oh man, I don't have editing permissions.
Oh, is it not? Oh. I have to hold up. Hold up, I gotta change this a little bit. If you don't have editing permissions.
I sure don't.
Editor. I don't know if I have to resend you the link, but I'm going to anyways.
No, I can type now.
Alright, there we go.
I'm just gonna let it load however many pages again.
It's a lot of pages.
All right, there we go.
Since destroyed, if a challenge rating is equal to... Yeah, roll an undead. That should be everything.
Wait, hold on. Okay. I'm just punching out some things.
Let me go down to the optional features, because they do have some others, but I think they're fine. Use your channel divinity to use a bonus action. Yeah, those are fine. Those optional features are good.
I'm gonna say would it be reasonable to make the destroy undead featured single target?
Yeah! If we're doing it that high. And you can still use turn undead for any of the others.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, when we were fighting a horde of undead, in our campaign, couldn't use it. Couldn't use the feature.
Yeah, this is still better than just it being unusable.
They weren't around us enough, and even if they were, we were fucking them up. I guess, yeah, no. There's probably very niche specific campaigns where this would be really good, but I think this is better overall.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, is there anything else? We like Divine Intervention, so
Optional
is that
features
pretty
are
much...
fine, because the one you just get is like, you can use a bonus action to use a Channel Divinity and get a spell slot.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then you get 2 good cantrip stuff.
And then Blessed Strikes is an alternative for Divine Strike or Potent Spellcasting feature.
Those are good.
Which I think all that's just handy. Just dandy. Handy dandy.
Alright, let me... Which one do you want to do? Because I've taken the reins so far.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, I've got one that's relatively... Okay. I'm going to give you a choice. Do you want to do another one that's relatively easy, or are we going in on something? Because so far we haven't gone in on anything.
I'd like to knock out all the easy ones, but we could take a difficult one.
Let's go to the Barbarian, because I think there's just a few details the Barbarian needs ironing out.
And let me change this icon to Barbarian.
What were our primary issues with Barbarian?
The Barbarian's fine in combat. Obviously.
Mhm.
No, there's nothing wrong with it in combat. It felt like it was just pretty useless outside of combat, because while it gets out of combat stuff, they aren't good. And they also just feel like they shouldn't be in the class. Like Danger Sense? For traps?
It's a little weird. It's fine. Like I see it. The only reason I see it is because Barbarian versus Fighter. Fighter is training. Barbarian is instinct. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I agree with Danger Sense. That's the only reason I think Danger Sense is fine.
I feel like Danger Sense, though, should be related to, like, sensing hostility or something. Like, if there's, like, in canon, it's like if there's a bear nearby, you'd be able to tell. As opposed to the Rangers, who are just with the terrain itself and hunting.
I know, but like that's so. Here's the problem: that kind of feature where it's like, say you had a sonar for be like danger. That's such an arbitrary thing that isn't Dungeon Master. I wouldn't know how to answer that.
I guess so.
So really, like, I would just leave that part up to role playing, and I think Danger Sense is fine. Danger Sense is very strong, and it's a very good thing to have on a Barbarian.
The only other ones then would be fast movement, which is fine, and Feral Instinct.
Well, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to touch up Rage a little bit, because my problem is that I personally think that there are plenty of depicted archetypes in media, in books, in many places of the dexterity-based barbarian. But D&D does not make that possible because of just a little detail of to get your bonus damage on your rage, you have to make a strength-based attack roll. So I think just adding dexterity to that, or just taking out the specific requirement altogether, would be good. What do you think?
Let me look at Rage for a second. So you get advantage on those checks. Would you also add that to dexterity checks and saving throws?
No, I would leave it. I would leave it the advantage on the strength checks and saving throws. That's fine.
And you get bonus damage based on the chart. Get resistance. Can't cast or concentrate on spells. It lasts for a minute. Enter, you're not going to concentrate. You also have your range, bonus action. And then, okay, so it's literally just the weapon attack damage. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it changes much.
It doesn't change much, but I feel like that just limits the barbarian just too much. Let's be real. Let's be honest, okay? If you were to change this, the meta thing to do with a barbarian is still a strength-based barbarian with a glaive, great weapon master, and polearm master. That's still the meta, even if you let dexterity be an option. It will not change anything.
When you make a melee attack, you can just make it that, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I would just...
Does it have to be using a weapon or just melee attack?
See, here's the other thing I was going to talk about.
Unarmed.
Here's the other thing. Yeah, I was going to talk about adding unarmed to other fighters, to other things besides fighters.
Then yeah, this would just be melee weapon attack if you wanted to do that for this.
Mm-hmm. Which I think would be cool, because, hey, if you're telling me that a punch from a raging barbarian does not hurt more than when the barbarian's normal, I'm going to say you're wrong.
When you make a melee attack,
do melee weapon attack. An unarmed attack is still a melee weapon attack.
Oh, okay. Alright. That's the only thing?
Well, also, let's see, where are its fighting style choices? When does it do that? Or they don't get fighting styles, do they? I'm dumb.
I don't think so.
And yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I really wanted to change. Again, Barbarian was really easy.
Yeah, it was. I still thought, I feel like Danger Sense should be something else, but if we don't want to do that...
I mean, do you have an idea for what else it should be?
That's what I don't know. I thought I was going to have to spitball some ideas for that. It just felt weird to me. But I'm not really sure off the top of my head.
Well, why does it feel weird? Why does it feel weird?
It feels weird because it specifically feels like something the rogue I know the rogue has it. Yeah. It feels like it should be something exclusive to the rogue because the rogue's one of the things is finding and disarming traps. A barbarian finds a trap and...
Well, this isn't finding and disarming a trap. This is having good reflexes to get out of the way of a trap swinging at your face.
Yeah. I just feel like it shouldn't be... Well, Yeah. Advantage on dexterity saving throws against. See.
This is just all this is you have good reflexes. That's all this is.
I guess the only thing I would do is just I think it would have to do with basically me thinking it should have to do with helping you from being surprised as well.
Mm.
Like, I know there's the Barbarian subclass feature that lets you, if you rage, you can't be surprised, basically, at the first round of combat.
Wait, where's that?
That's one of the... Berserker?
Oh, that's why I've never looked at Berserker once in my life, because it's terrible.
Basically, I know there's a subclass feature that says if you're in a surprise round of combat against you, you can rage and go anyways. But you have to rage. Because if they're so instinctual, it just feels like their only instincts are against traps and spells, but doesn't deal with, like, an arrow being shot at you, or someone sneaking up on you, or any of those things. It's specifically against traps and spells, and that's what's...
Well, here's the problem. Well, here's the thing where I'm going to say we don't need to touch that, because 5e has other features, such as passive perception and things like that, that are supposed to deal with that.
Yeah, I think the danger sense should help with that. Like, maybe it just gives them a passive benefit to passive perception.
I will say...
Like, I still don't know what. I'm not sure what, if, like, a number is needed or just a feature, but...
Well, okay, so why do you want to give this feature to them?
The main reason is just, as it stands, they don't really do anything out of combat that other classes also just do. And I get, obviously there's an element of roleplay. I'm not saying that they get roleplay benefits like a fucking bard or something. I mean, like, when you're playing a fighter, you have various languages and arts and fucking riding a horse is one of your subclasses. And being a sorcerer, you can change. There's a meta magic that lets you change your skill checks. Being a rogue, you're a rogue. Wizards can transcribe spell scrolls. Like, everyone gets some of those things, and Barbarian has nothing for any situation.
Well,
kind of
I don't think that's true. I'm just... This is what I'm saying. I'm going to respectfully disagree, because I've played Barbarian a significant amount of times. And I feel like I had most of the out-of-combat interaction in a lot of situations. Just because the idea that you are the muscle comes in handy in a lot of very, very varied situations. And you gain features that let you be the muscle.
Alright, if we want to keep it.
I personally think it's okay. I think that it just needed build versatility in that you didn't have to be pure strength all the time. If we want to add something else to Danger Sense, I just don't know what we would do.
Before I move on, what are your optional class features again?
You
get an extra skill choice of your... You get bonus action to enter your rage. You can move up to half. You get another proficiency in this... okay, it's just skill proficiencies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, truly, they get a lot of what you're talking about. If they get a lot of... The skill proficiency thing lets them do a lot more out of combat. The pounce is speed, and yeah, primal knowledge is just a lot of skill proficiencies. And their normal skill proficiencies that you're choosing from are animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature perception, and survival. So by the end of it, you're going to have, I think, like all but 2 of those.
Alright, I'm gonna darken out Barbarian.
I thought Barbarian was a very well-designed subclass. I just think it needed to not be as pigeonholed as it was. Because there's cool ideas. Think about this. With no strength requirement, think about either a Hexblade or Battlesmith with a Barbarian. That'd be cool.
That'd be neat.
That'd be really cool.